Hello, this is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another video. This is going to be some prediction video for The Walking Dead episode 8, Coda. So yeah, the mid-season final is about to come. Sadly, comes out on Saturday, Sunday. Sunday 30th of November. So yeah, it's almost already been 8 episodes since the first episode of season 5 has appeared. So yeah, mid-season final, season 5. My predictions for this for this. So yeah, I tend not to do predictions for the episodes. I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing them in the second half of the season. I don't know. Who knows? But last year I did a prediction video for who's gonna die and all that. Last year for the mid-season final of season 4. So I thought I might as well do it for this season, season 5. So yeah. So basically, my predictions are gonna include who I think is gonna die, what I think will happen, basically my thoughts on everything. So yeah, first off, who's gonna die? So the big one has to be between Carol and Beth. Who's gonna die between Carol and Beth? They're both in the hospital. They're both in the hospital, and they're both controlled by John. Um, so yeah, so who's gonna live out of the two of them? So yeah, Beth, she's just starting to get a bit more development. We've seen her what she's been for like the past 2 or 3 seasons, but we really haven't seen much development out of her. We're finally getting development out of her now. Carol, on the other hand, she's a character that's been there since like the second episode ever of The Walking Dead, and also as of late, as of season 5, she's been getting a lot of badass moments. She's been getting a lot of development. We've been seeing a lot of scenes from her, and normally when we see a character that's usually not in the forefront become part of the forefront, when we see a character who's not developed that much, um, all of a sudden get like a couple episodes that on their own, get a lot of development, it usually means that they're gonna die or something's gonna happen to them. We saw that last year with Herschel. Um, for example, we saw with Andrea, Dale, Governor. We saw it with a bunch of characters. Even Gareth's group. And yeah. So in my opinion, who's gonna die between Beth and Carol? I think Carol is more likely to die. Also, she's kind of crippled. So yeah. Now that's not to say that Beth can't die. I don't think they're gonna kill her off just yet. Um, but it would be interesting to see to kill off both of them. Also to point out that Daryl Dixon, the actor Norman Reedus, when filming this episode, he was crying for an hour. Like straight up cried for an hour. He just couldn't do it. He couldn't do the scene, and he cried for like an hour. His words, and that raises up a lot of questions. Now, why was he crying? And most logical reasons, because of a death. Now Carol and Daryl, they're the two characters to have been teased most as to teased most for a relationship. So it would make sense for Carol to die. Also a bit. Now also Beth, they just started having this kind of friendship, or a bit more deeper friendship, so that could also affect them. But he's known Carol longer, and he's saved Carol a bunch of times, and we've had the Carol and Daryl episode like 2 weeks ago, so it does make sense. Now some people do say that the reason that Norman Reedus is crying is because he is the one to die. Daryl Dixon is the one to die, and honestly, I think it could happen. Nobody is safe from dying. Anybody could die at any moment, but I don't think they're gonna kill off Daryl Dixon. First off, he took down a tank. Okay, you're really gonna kill off the most badass characters at this point. Also, you have the whole issue with if Daryl dies right. So that could also happen. People could I swear if Daryl dies, I'm pretty sure the ratings would start going down, like plummeting. So yeah. Now, some people have theorized that in the previous episode when he was putting his hand through the eye socket of the walker to beat the other officer and cross, that he possibly got infected through that. Now, I don't believe that, mostly because they're gonna have one of the most badass characters in The Walking Dead die in one of the worst deaths ever, in one of the most inglorious deaths ever. I mean, if he's gonna die, give him an honorable death, give him a glorious death, give him a, being shot in a hill of fire or something like that, saving someone or something like that. But if you're gonna kill him off by an infection that technically shouldn't have even infected him in the first place, it just doesn't make sense. Now who else is left? Tyrese, Sasha. I think those two could die, or at least one of them two could die, in my opinion. I think if Sasha dies, it'll develop the character of Tyrese a bit more, because as we've seen before, Tyrese cannot kill anybody, or he doesn't have the will to kill. We've seen it before with Lizzie and Mika, and even in the prison, I mean, I know he's a bad shot, but it seemed like he didn't even want to shoot that. I mean, and he had perfect shots of Alicia and the other man. He had perfect shots of them, like even up close, and he still wouldn't even kill them. So you could see he's not one to kill people. So I think if they kill off Sasha, that would develop Tyrese's character to finally be trigger happy, kill anybody inside over revenge for his sister. Um, so yeah, now I've been thinking also lately that they could kill off Tyrese because mentally he is one of the weakest characters, because again he doesn't want to shoot, and it's pretty close to what Martin says, that it's pretty similar to what Martin has said before in the past, in the first episode of season 5, or what the governor said, it's either you kill or you die, or die and then kill, and then which is what the governor said, and then Martin, who was the guy who almost killed Judith in the first episode of season 5. Basically he said that you need to learn how to shoot, or learn how to kill people, because it's either gonna be you or them, and if you are who you are, it's definitely gonna be you. So I think Tyrese or Sasha could die. I don't think they're gonna kill off both of them. I think they could kill off one of them, but not both of them. Then you also have Dawn's group. I think most of them are gonna die. I think nearly all of them are gonna die. I think out of that group, the only person who has the possibility of living, aside from Carol and Beth, is the doctor, Dr. Stevens, and that's because he's a doctor, because Noah, he knows him, he knows he's the only person there who's not really a bad guy. He's the only faculty member there who's not really a bad guy. He's just trying to survive, and he's not really a bad guy in general. So it'll make sense if they rescue him, if he's the only one to survive. Now, what's gonna happen to the other patients in that group? I mean, they could die, or who knows? Maybe they could escape. I mean, I think some of them could escape, but I think the core group, Dawn, and I think for the most part, at least the officers, all of them are gonna die. I think all the officers at the least are gonna die. The doctor, Dr. Stephen Edwards, I think he could possibly live. Maybe rescue some of the patients. They could live or die. I mean, they're extras, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, now you also have now on the flip side, you also have Abraham's group, Glenn's group, Eugene, Tara, Maggie, Rosita. We saw them in the promos, but I don't think they're gonna do much with them. Maybe see how Eugene's doing. And that's it. As for Gabriel and Carl, Judith, and Michonne, that's gonna be interesting because there's a promo where Father Gabriel, he's by the school where the hunters were eating the leg of Bob, and he sees the leg and he kind of goes crazy, and then Gareth said that the glass where the zombies were being held was about to break, and you can see there's cracks right there about to break. So I think, in my opinion, that this is what happens. Gabriel sees the walkers. The glass breaks, the walkers escape, and he runs back all the way to the church, bringing who knows how many walkers there. And now Carl and Michonne need to defend the church. Judith is gonna be crying. Gabriel, I don't think he's gonna die, but I think they're gonna be very pissed off at Gabriel. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Now also I do want to point out that Bob Lamson, or Lance Lonson, whatever his name was, the officer that kind of shoved Sasha into the glass and knocked her out. It was funny. There's this scene from the comics where it happened during the governor story arc. I think it could happen in this episode, where basically in the comics, Martinez goes with Rick's group, but then he decides to go back to the governor's group, and Rick finds out and runs him over with Dale's RV, and then kills him. So the governor doesn't find out where they are. I think they're gonna do something similar with that. Um, Rick is gonna find someone's gonna find Sasha. You're gonna realize that Bob Lamson, whatever, has escaped, and then Rick is gonna go on the hunt for the guy. I don't think he's gonna run him over with an RV, but I do think he could run him over with a car. Okay, at the very least a car, but I don't think an RV. An RV or a bus, okay? But I think at the very least with a car, he could run him over with a car and then kill him. Eventually, he's gonna obviously, as from what we've seen, we're gonna see Don and Rick communicate, talk to each other. Daryl and Sasha, ready to shoot with sniper rifles, and shit's obviously gonna go down. Also, this is supposed to be one of the biggest episodes they've had so far, which is kind of funny considering we've had Too Far Gone and No Sanctuary in like the past year, which are also some of the biggest episodes we've had in a long time. So this could possibly be within the biggest episodes action wise. So yeah, I mean overall I am excited for The Walking Dead. Really can't. I'm basically waiting for it to come out already. So yeah. My predictions, mostly death predictions, a few of the predictions there, as to what's gonna happen. I think that by the end, also I don't think they're gonna resolve the whole hospital thing just within this episode. I think it's gonna leave at a cliffhanger. So it's gonna start in this episode and maybe finish within somewhere between episodes 9 through 11 of the second half of season 10. I mean season 5. So yeah. Let's see who else do you have left. Noah. I think he could be the TV version of Heath, who is someone from the Alexandria Safe Zone, which is supposed to be our next huge location. Heath is basically like the scouter who gets supplies and whatnot. So I think that makes sense. And then there's also the rumors of him being Morgan's nephew. That'd be interesting in my opinion. That could be very interesting. And then I also hear there's rumors of Morgan possibly appearing somewhere within that battle alongside Abraham or something. I think we're gonna have like a tease at Morgan somewhere else. I don't think he's gonna be in Atlanta, but I think he's gonna be somewhere else. As for Abraham, I think he could go into the battle, but at the back half of it after they rescue. I think Abraham's just gonna go back to the church, find the walkers, and help with all that situation that Gabriel caused, and then maybe they all go to Atlanta. So yeah, that's my predictions, and yeah, that's basically it for now. Subscribe if not already subscribed. I review The Walking Dead comics and TV shows as well as other comics and TV shows, and I also review movies, so definitely do stay tuned for that. Movies, comics, and TV shows. So yeah, comment down below on your predictions for the mid-season half. Coda, what are your thoughts on it? Comment all that down below, let me know. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer, and that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.